But yeah, man, every time I come on, I'm always like, I want more, I want to do better. Then watching this girl fucking play like
Yeah, it's too much.
Boy.
ultimate expander. Like, you know, you see people and you're like, oh wait, no, that's how I want to do that. I want to do that. But can you please teach me how to do that? So I made a flow chart. I made you look at it and everything.
It was a really good flow chart.
It's a good one.
It's an
Thank you.
impressive flow chart.
Yeah, Emily's your knowledge just of the game.
Insane.
So it's like the knowledge of the game paired with like how dedicated you are to your characters, and it is kind of intimidating.
It's a little
It
intimidating.
is intimidating. Yeah. It's a little scary.
It was us too. Like, you know, like I'm at that table for 8 fucking years. I'm like, oh, how are you on top of your shit?
Yeah.
Well, you guys are very much on top of it, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think that.
But I also would like to know.
Yeah.
Do you teach a master class?
Honestly, my class is just like read your spells and then think of like what would be a cool scene in an action movie and try to do it.
Pretty much.
That's natural talent right there.
Yeah,
fell
and also
in-
like a love for novelty, right? Like I'd never like to. I obviously sometimes you do the same thing twice, but like you always kind of go into every battle being like, oh, I want to use something I haven't used before.
Yeah, how can I mix it up?
Yeah.
I fell in love with Wizards with our last campaign, so to watch you come rolling in here just effortlessly,
Just
working that
fucking
spell book, man, it was.
Have
it
you
was
played a
good.
wizard before?
Only like briefly.
Okay.
It's like it kills me because it's my favorite class, like by a long shot. Because it's just
Really?
the most spells, which means the most novelty, the most like permutations of cool shit that could happen.
Because I know you had like a long-running druid, right?
Yeah, long
as part of
running
NADPOD.
druid. Yeah, and then I've played a ton for Dimension 20, like, but we play those for like short stints.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You handled business.
You
Like,
handle fucking
My
business.
turns would be like,
But like
45 seconds, Amy's would be like 90 seconds, and then yours would be like 45 minutes.
Oh no!
Well, yeah, she'd be like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna do this, my book is gonna do that, my bird's gonna do
Quick.
that, then
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
flip
yeah.
over here,
Yeah.
give this person superpowers, and then I'm gonna be invisible.
Not a single or like in all of it, too.
No.
That is not true.
Very
No.
You
decisive.
know how to get all the blood out of the stone. That
Yes.
was-
Incredible.
I think that
Well,
you.
I think when you're talking about like coming into CR, I came in being like, kind of ironic how it ended, but I was like, I can't let any of these fuckers get killed. I can't be the guest that lets one of these fuckers get killed.
Do you know
my
Ashley Birch?
God.
Have you had that conversation with her?
No.
Oh, boy.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Ashley Birch. Well, it was,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, I know,
I don't know the
Wasn't her
context for
fault.
that, so I wasn't
she
trying
just
to
happened to be
reference
there when one of my
that.
characters died. She
Oh yeah.
He made so fucking great.
What about Prism?
Yeah, so Prism.
Oh, Prism. Honestly, Prism, I pitched so many fucking characters to Matt.
Because you just have them in your fucking little arsenal of
No,
good characters.
I've wanted to play a necromancer forever, and I've never found a campaign where it makes any sense. So I pitched him a lot of necromancers that didn't really work. And then my first reaction, I remember I was gonna be a woman who got shunted in the middle of her wedding ceremony
right.
and didn't find out.
Right.
And you were in a wedding dress.
Oh
my God.
I ended up like showing up in a wedding dress, but then I was like,
that's
it
pretty
was
great.
a little tonally different. So I was like, let's not go there. But then I honestly, I looked at your guys' party composition and like where you were at, and I was like, they need information. So I really just wanted to be like a plot hound.
God, you're so
know?
fucking smart.
So
Like,
great.
I want to take this class. I want to give you money to teach me how to play this game.
I mean, it's literally just simply being like, I just took someone who would have good history, arcana, religion, so that you always had someone who could potentially roll, investigate, identify, gather information.
So helpful.
But the other one, it was down to two. It was down to two characters. So it was like this, like kind of like long-suffering PhD student. Actually, I originally conceived of her as being more of like an Arthur Dent from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
planning on her being like just wanting to go home, but then I just like battle went really well, and then when we went to camp, I was like planning on being kind of prissy about it, but then I was like, I'm a fucking elf. I can just trance.
right.
Camping is fine. So I was like, all right, I think I like the adventuring lifestyle after all.
Yeah.
When you rolled like 7 20s in a row.
I really feel like
shit.
it was the dice being like, hey,
Do this.
I think you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
I do remember the other character that it was down to 2, and I was like, here's a plot hound, and here's just a weird one, and Matt chose the Prism. But I had also wanted to play, and thinking back, it would have been insane at the table. I was gonna play a paladin of the betrayer god. I asked him for a really stupid betrayer god. He gave me all these cool betrayer gods, and I was like, no, stupider.
Yeah.
And then he gave me.
Is there one that
It was gonna be. I was gonna be a paladin of the Lady Vesh, the bloody siren, and I was gonna be like erotically obsessed with. She's like basically like this betrayer god who has like annual orgies and then kills everyone but one person and mates with them.
That's Cash's wife.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Wow.
Why I was the only one who laughed whenever.
Yeah. I really just wanted to be like, it is my dream to succumb to the.
I want her to kill me.
The Lady Vesh.
Well, there's
Step on the
always
Lady
EXU.
Always.
Always the
Dude, that's
It's just like so like
amazing.
imagine like also like knowing how intense your guys' characters, like what an intense
Oh,
face
yeah.
you guys were if I
Holy
had come
shit.
in and be like, do you ever kind of want to fuck your god?
Bring on the blood orgy. Like that's why not?
But you got a little bit of that in with Prism, because one of my favorite things about Prism was like when she did something like incredibly violent, she was like excited about it.
Yes.
And I just fucking love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, can we just quickly talk about what was it, 149 points of damage doing the blade? What was it? The
Steel Wind Strike.
Steel Wind Strike.
Yeah.
That you
That
rolled a
crit,
20 on.
right?
I crit
Yeah.
twice
Hell yeah.
of the 3 attacks.
3.
Yeah. So it was just
First time on the
brutal.
battlefield.
It was
Bonkers.
insane. That's what I'm saying is like I went in being like, I'm gonna play Arthur Dent if he was played by Melanie Linsky. Just like a girly little girl who just wants to go home. And then I just crit so
Yeah, you're
much
like,
that I was like,
No.
I don't want to go home. There's
Fucking
nothing
love
there
it.
for me.
You curled-
I don't want to
curled
finish
into
my
board briefings.
PhD.
You started at Arthur. So
Yes.
Totally.
I think I mentioned this on the last Four-Sided Dive, so I might be a broken record here for the audience, but now that you guys were here, I talked so much about how I don't think I've ever heard such incredible descriptors when you guys were introducing your characters. Because it wasn't just about like your physical traits, like you talked about with like Denise, like the woman who pushes like a feminine,
In a
their
male-dominated-
femininity,
Oh,
like
yeah.
like women
great.
in male-dominated
Well,
fields.
you know, you learn from your first time around. Like, one thing that I find with this game is that I can think of like really complicated stuff for my character or whatever, and then like it gets to me and I'm like, whoa, it's like it's like math kind of just disappears. So I actually
Yeah.
like right before we all came on, we're all like, should we write?
think about something.
Should we write down? Yeah, and then we're all like furiously like writing
It was
like.
so good.
I'm just an improviser at heart, so I just
I mean,
gotta
you
shoot
yeah,
from the
no,
hip.
you're
yeah,
kill-
you said
killing it.
You said you're like a lady cop with acrylic.
Yes.
And I immediately was
Yeah.
like,
the heart.
oh
yeah,
yeah,
me.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Like,
good.
And
all we
then
needed.
you talked about like the emo girl who has
Indoor kid.
instead of song lyrics tattooed,
Oh.
they're like runes.
Yes.
I had like, I wasn't sure if someone was gonna ask me, so I like came up with all these platitudes
I
about
saw
death.
you. You were sitting next to me in
I
the
don't
dark
remember
talking
it.
to yourself. Right before we went on, you were for sure practicing.
I was like really having fun with the idea of like really like bleak sentiments about death because Prism was from Shadowfell
Oh, I love that.
or the Shadow
you
Realm.
just like had your own like My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, I was like
It's-
trying
yeah.
to like
Ready
think
to
of
go.
like I was trying to think of like, but I don't remember any of them
Of
now.
course not. No.
I was like thinking, just trying to think of like things akin to like like I don't know, just like some kind of platitude about death that also sounds like an emo lyric.
For
but
sure.
They're gone to time.
They'll be
That's what
back
you were
10
whispering
minutes after
into
the
the
show.
dark.
Yeah.
And then yeah, yours was like, oh, he looks like he's made of paper and he's wearing
potato
like a potato sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just all like so like tangible and evocative.
Yeah, the
like you're all
personalities were
descriptive.
evoked right.
Yes, immediately.
It-
It
and
was like awesome.
It felt. I'm glad to know that you all kind of talked about it because it felt like you were all trying to one up each other. Yeah. Description.
yeah.
Oh, actually, we did. I wanted us in like our first character meeting. I wanted us to play triplets, but only two of us were identical.
I
remember.
That would have been so good.
So fun.
Wait, what happened to that idea? Why didn't we go with it?
Imagine now, like the scene that we came into, the like such heavy emotions and
awful,
catharsis,
awful.
and we're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hi, we're triplets. They're identical. Guess which ones?"
That tower is fucked
sure.
from the last
Who do I-
episode.
Yeah, that
Why?
power's
Oh, you guys don't
trying to
reset that
fall.
shit?
No.
Oh,
It's just big.
Goes.
Why me?
Volunteering me.
Yeah, no one likes to snitch. Get up.
Yeah.
Consequences so shameful that they made our producer look up the word embarrassing in the thesaurus, and none of the synonyms really were good enough if we get to that.
This is gonna fall as soon as.
Yes, it is.
can you just grab them from the top?
No, there's a rule.
Put your goggles
Has to be
I think
on.
it's
The
three
top
levels
you
down.
can't touch.
So you got to go 4 or down.
Okay, let me. I'm trying to
we
assess the
help you?
structure.
1, 2,
Don't.
3,
No,
4.
no, you want this to go poorly,
Let
believe
this
me.
happen.
Whoever helps her will go next.
No, Emily, no. I didn't help. I didn't help.
I.
Just be very careful. No.
Oh, go in the middle.
What's the number?
Oh, 14.
Now you got to put it on.
You got to put it on top.
Yeah, you're not out yet. It could fall now.
Shit. I'm now the one who's going to knock it over with just my mere presence. So number 14, from Nick Johnson. With all of the stressful grand machinations and world-altering confrontations, what do you think has been your character's most relaxed moment in their existence on or off screen?
In their whole existence?
In their existence was the question.
Probably like there would be some fun times in the Shadow Realm for sure. Like I was talking about the Night of Ascension.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not relaxing, but I don't know. Sometimes there's like relaxation and having a really fucking good time. I feel like probably there was probably, she's probably someone who like calms by reading. So probably just some like real deep concentration with some books.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Would be,
Respect.
Yeah.
be some relaxing moments.
Reading like a nice novel for the 3rd time in a bath, and you're just like, yeah.
Yeah, you're rereading an old
third-
She
novel.
would
Yeah.
never get the books wet.
Oh, no, no. You get one of those little trays.
Yeah.
Have a reading
I don't
tray.
have to wash my bits.
And stay dry.
What about you? Turncoat?
So from @Smoople on Twitter,
Smoople.
how does your character differ from the ones you've played in previous campaigns, and what inspired you to explore this new territory?
We're doing
You
played a lot.
Yeah, I've played a decent amount of characters. I think this one is probably more like, maybe a little more like type A or prissier than I'm used to playing. Maybe like a little girlier than I usually play. Yeah, that's probably it. But I mean, at Dimension 20, we play like a lot of different characters, so I've fucking been around, dude.
I've been around. I can tell you. I mean, it's the ultimate flex to be like, no, I played a lot of characters and just this one out. So good.
You got a really thick little black binder.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, I feel like it's like hard to, it's like, well, you know, some maybe, but I definitely think this was like a little more like I've never played a wizard for Dimension 20, and I haven't played too many wizards. So like this, it was fun to play just a real classic, more like type A wizard, because that is just such a great fantasy archetype.
Yeah, 100%.
So good.
I tried to come in with a character that had, that wasn't really decided, and kind of just take the experience as it was coming to us. And I didn't really walk away with the information I was given. I didn't really walk away with a ton of tenderness for the gods.
No, me neither.
Cobalt is a religious institution, but very gently. Like
Oh, really? Well,
they're
I
very gently.
The Prism's background is like in the Shadow Realm.
Sure.
Like that's her like complicated religious past. But like I think that I wanted to be like, okay, I'm on the fence and I'm gonna let the story like push me one direction. And the story that I was at the table for kind of made me not being like, yay, God.
Yeah, I don't think we ever had a Cobalt Soul member who was like really faithful
It's like going
Yeah,
to
that's
Catholic
all-
school, but because the education's better than
Yeah.
public
Sure.
school, not because you're actually Catholic.
But isn't also like with wizards, I could be wrong because I'm new at this, but isn't it with like wizards, it's like they get their magic because
Indian
they're
people in Catholic
studying and
school.
not so much because they're like devout to a god?
It's the intellectual notion.
So maybe
magic.
it's that too.
we
There's
don't
a
need them, we've got
there's
our
a
own.
disconnect too of like, well, I can just study my spell book and I'll know, I don't have to like pray to a god to give me the power. or whatever.
Campaign's getting so heavy, man.
It is.
But in this world,
Let's see what we got.
Emily,
Whoa!
I'm a good picker. What inspired you? What inspired you to make Prism from the Shadow Realm? What interested you about that area as an upbringing?
So, like I said, Matt had sent me the video of the Matron of Ravens, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then he told me more about the Shadow Realm, and I wanted to be someone who had a complicated past with religion, and I liked the idea of her kind of being like, because the Shadow Realm is like not a good place. It's like a fringe realm. It's very dangerous. And so I liked the idea of seeing all these people who are devout in their suffering, like their suffering is some kind of devotion to this goddess, but then sitting there as a little girl and being like, you're preaching death and fate, and you decided that, but that doesn't count for you. Like you're saying you have to surrender to death and fate, but you precluded yourself from it. So I had like this whole story in my head that like, I was like, that at one point when she was a little kid, she was like, she like had this dream that she would find all of the Matron of Ravens clues to her ascension and mass produce it, and then everyone would live forever and there would be no more death, so then there would be no more Shadow Realm, so there would be no more suffering. Because she's just like, the Shadow Realm sucks and everyone acts like it's penance for it to suck. I think that it should be good. I want it to be better. But then obviously once she got to the Cobalt Soul, I think she like wised up, like that was like a very like youthful fantasy. And then she's like, okay, that's not the way to do it. But so I think like it's kind of like she like both admired and respected the Matron of Ravens, but wouldn't surrender her worship to her. So I felt like I liked that to be on the fence of like, I like your story. I don't know that I can worship you, and like let me see where this story like makes me land.
Never thought of the matron that way. That's
I
really
know.
interesting.
But
I'm
also, like,
that's
just
going
sociopath
ooh.
she is.
Yeah.
Wasn't the matron like immortal first? Like she was just a regular ass
The
bitch.
one exception to all the gods. She
Right,
was
and
a
then like
powerful
kind of
wizard.
fought the god and then became one.
Yeah.
So that would totally vibe with what you're saying.
For
Yeah.
But if to kind of be devil's advocate for the matron.
Oh, you absolutely can be. This wasn't me, Emily, being like,
Oh
this
no,
is
no,
what
I
think.
just want to throw something out there.
Flavor.
Shop
If
talk.
if you've gone through this process and the whole situation is that you have said no to death and you have said no to fate, but then you realize by becoming the goddess of death and fate that you were on the path the entire time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if fate is predetermined, then it was fated for you to become this goddess. And that
convenient.
by taking over as the goddess of death, you didn't avoid death. You devoted your life to it.
Surrounded
I
yourself
think
with.
I think for Prism, she kind of was just like at some point was like, okay, first off, this is definitely the beginnings of an evil wizard plan. I have to wise up and be really careful because mass producing, because eradicating death by mass producing the key to immortality is definitely someone's evil plan.
That's Lich behavior.
But maybe Ludinus'
Sounds familiar.
plan.
Is that what his thing is?
No. I just meant.
Oh, okay.
Boy, I can hear Percy's response to your little conversation in my head so clearly. Oh.
But I think, then I also was like, I think she would also wise up and be kind of like, I think that she also wised up and was like, maybe the matron by being immortal, like maybe it's not this awesome thing. Maybe she is in service of death itself. And it doesn't feel like a immortal ascension. It feels more like a servitude to a cause she believes in.
Matt has portrayed her like she, in one of the scenes with my character Bax, when he got to meet her, she took the mask away and suddenly she was her human size and he saw her face. And the way Matt described her was looking extremely lonely.
Yeah. So I think that like on Prism's journey, it would be kind of like, okay, I think maybe I'm being naive, but I still am not convinced that what's going on in the Shadow Realm, that they need to be suffering as much as they are.
There is a difference.
I want Caleb and Bo through the Cobalt Soul connection to work with Prism.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's Caleb's a wizard too.
Yeah, he's.
Ooh, imagine 2 wizards.
I do often.
Caleb's imagined two
wizards. That's where the statement
or
ends.
5.
Can you imagine 6 wizards?
Guys, have you imagined dragons? Yeah, Laudna has reunited with Imogen. What was it like to be parted from her for so long? And how is she feeling now that they're back together? Kind of feels weird, man.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta tell you,
We all
I
thought it would.
actually was really worried about you having to tell your friends what happened. So I really tried to lead with "I killed Border," so that you can decide how much you tell and when you tell.
Yeah,
Good guess.
it's gonna be
Good guess.
weird.
I'm like, so sweet.
It kind of feels like, you know, when
Sometimes guests have your back.
like
It was
you
like the romantic aspect.
Emily, Prism referred to Orem as her best friend. When did she decide that he
You
was the person she was closest
dick.
to
Right when she
in the
dropped
group?
You-
the dollar sign
you
from
dick.
Prism.
It was just this really funny moment because it was like, for some reason, the new group was really suspicious of me. And I was like, fuck, I have to, in like 20 minutes, try to win these people over. And Sam was like, can I trust you with this person that I'm dating? And I was sitting there being like, I'm not gonna be able to get him to trust me, but I'll like offer him an exchange. And I was like, who's the funniest for Prism to say right now? It's Orem. Saying Orem right now would be the most unexpected, and he's the only one who wouldn't care if she didn't say his name.
God, I wish
I love that.
true.
it's 100%
I definitely had that like.
because me and you looked at each other
You're
like,
like,
Ow.
what the fuck is happening right now? Were we here for the past 6 weeks?
is there
I
some
don't
weird
know.
off-screen shit that just
Oh, I
happened?
love that.
Are they giving each other back rubs? What the fuck?
It was also probably, to your point, if you want to get
So
the
good.
other group to trust you,
It was the right call.
you say like,
I can pick another one. Sorry, Marisha.
no, it's good. But yeah, you say to the most trustworthy guy.
Yeah, I think it did.
Thanks for being
I
there
think
for
I was like, okay, I'm gonna offer him.
Here,
I'm gonna
pass that thing.
offer
I didn't
Sam's
read it.
character an exchange. Like I'll be like I know I can't win you over right now, but like, hey, I'll look out for your person if you look out for mine. Like we're both invested, right?
Yeah.
So then I just had to be like, who's the funniest for me to say right now?
Your instincts are great.
All right.
Trash with a name on Instagram wants to know what 3 objects would your character choose to have if they became trapped on an island alone? Go to the consequences box while they answer.
Wow. Wait, what are you saying as a wizard?
Oh, as a wizard, maybe I would probably look into whatever spell components were needed for some sort of like creation, fabrication type spell so that I could be self-replicating the spells
Sure she would.
to then
That's pretty brilliant.
create whatever I needed.
It's like,
like
asking a
survival.
genie for unlimited wishes with
Yeah.
your one wish.
Yeah, I'd probably try.
Loophole.
Yeah.
I'd probably try to loophole it.